Hello, board is clearly visible.
Yes, sir.
So go for design considerations. So the design considerations are what the basic requirements, what we discussed in uh, procedure to design and machine element. Okay. So the first one is you need to identify what type of code to add, and based on that one, what are the various are going to answer various types of stress. I'm not going to dictate again detail here. So next step is you need to consider the synthesis of the element. What kinematics of component. Okay. So what type of mechanism for getting the motions, for getting the motion. So once you got the kinematics of the machines or kinematics of component, so third step is for a selection of material. Selection of material. Selection of material. So once the selection of material is done, so then you need to check out what is the frictional resistance you want to get, and if the frictional resistance is occurring, so then you need to consider the lubrication also. Lubrication also. What frictional resistance, frictional resistance, and lubricate. And lubricate. Right? So now the other part is use of some standard parts. Use of some standard parts. You see, why you need to go for use of standard parts in codes and standards. Okay? In codes and standards. Okay? So the last consideration is safety convenience. Safety convenience and economical features. And economical. So these are the considerations you need to make while design as a machine element. Okay? This is what a basic requirement of a machine element. Okay? Same. So next we'll move on to the codes and standards. Codes and standards. So just I want to ask one question here. If we if it is worn out or if it is broken out, are you going to get the same part from the same company? Let us take an example. Let us take an example. If you have a motorcycle or you have a moped, okay? If the tire is worn out, if the tire is blast, okay, are you going to choose the same company for selection of the tire? Question is clear? ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ದೊಂದು ಮೊಪೆಡ್ ಅದ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ದೊಂದು ಮೋಟರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅದ ಹೌದಾ ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಟೈರ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಯದ ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದೇ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹುಡುಕಾಡಿ ಟೈರ್ ತರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಟೈರ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ
ಅರೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಬ್ಯಾರೆ
ಬೇರೆ
ಬ್ಯಾರೆ
ಕಂಪ್ನಿ
ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್
ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು. ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಟೈರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಹೀರೋ ಹೋಂಡಾ ಸ್ಪ್ಲೆಂಡರ್ ಅದ, ಹೌದಾ? ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಟೈರ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಹಾಕವ ಅದಕ್ಕ?
ಆಗ್ತಾವ್ರಿ ಸರ್.
ಆಗ್ತಾವ. 5 5
ಸೈಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ
ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ.
ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಇರ್ತದ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್, ಸೊ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. That is what standardization is required. Okay? So standardization is defined as obligatory norms. Standardization, okay, it is defined as obligatory norms which has to conform for the various characteristics of the component. Which has to conform for various characteristics of the component. Okay? So the various characteristics may include the type of material, the type of processing, type of finishing, as well as type of testing. So then only you can say you can produce a same component, okay, when it has to conform for the standard procedures. Standard procedures. That is what, if we made a standardization, so if we have a tire, so you can purchase the same tire from different companies. Okay? Example, if you take a company of TVS, you can take a company of Apollo, you can take a company of Seat, you can take a company of the MRF. Okay, so you get the same size, same dimension. That is what. So the reason is standardization. Okay? So next, you're going to get a difference here. One is standard. One is standard. Another one is codes. Another one is codes. So standard is different, codes is different. Standard is different, codes is different. So standard is defined as a set of specifications for parts, materials, or processes. Okay? So standard is what? It's a set of specifications. Okay? For parts, materials, or processes. Right? So if you want to fabricate any type of material, so you need to follow some specifications. Okay, so those specifications are going to be identified with, again, with some standard books, some standards. Okay, the next one is what? Of code. Code is set of specifications. Set of specifications for analysis. For analysis, for design, for manufacturing, for manufacturing, for testing, and erection of the components, or erection of the product. Standards is a set of specifications for processing of the materials, or for processing of the parts, or for selection of the material. Okay? But codes are different. Codes are different. Codes are what? Is a set of specifications for analysis, for design, for manufacturing, for as well as selection of product. So you can, I think you have got the universal testing machine experiment in third semester. That is what in testing of the material. Testing of the material, so with the help of some standard specification. With the help of some standard specification. So to test it, you need to prepare a specimen based on standard. Okay. Then you need to apply the load. You need to apply the load, your own relative dimension. How you have preferred a specimen? So you have preferred a specimen based on the BIS, the Bureau of Indian Standards. So based on that one, you have prepared a specimen, and based on that one, you have carried out the tensile test. Clear? There is a simple one. Specifications for parts, materials, and process is related to standard. So specification for analysis, design, manufacture, testing, erection, as well as construction. Okay? As well as construction that leads to the codes. Now, normally in a design office, if you went into any industry, so the design office consists of mainly three types of standards. So design office consists of mainly three types of standards. So one is company standard. So if you look out into standards in design office, so first you need to follow the company standard. You need to follow the company standards. Okay? So because to establish any one type of company, so they are preparing some code of conduct, some code of conduct. So based on that one, they are going to define standards. That is what company standard. Second step is you need to follow Indian standard. You need to follow Indian standard. So now these two standards are sufficient if you are designing the component for an Indian firms, for Indian companies or for local companies. Suppose if you want to design component for international company, so then you need to follow the international standard. Then you need to follow the international standard. Right? So in company you need to follow these two standards. So Indian standards normally BIS, Indian standards. So here in international standards if you follow the international standards are that is what ISO. That is what ISO. So now in universe, some of the institutions have defined some standards. Have defined some standards based on their codes as well as their standard practice. So those institutes are I'll just list out here. The first one is the ISO. Second one is the BIS. Third one is the ASME. The fourth one is ASTM. Next SAE. Next JIS. Next DIN. Now these are some standards. So globally available. These are some standards. Okay. Now ISO stands for International Standard Organization. International Standard Organization. So BIS stands for Bureau of Indian Standards. Next, ASME stands for American Society for Mechanical Engineers. Next, ASTM stands for American Society for Testing of Materials. Next, SAE stands for Society of Automated Engineers. So next, GS stands for Japanese International Standard. Okay? So Japanese or Japan International Standard. I think it is a Japan Institute standards. I think it is a Japan Institute standard. Okay? So let us check it. So next, DIN stands for Germany standard. Okay? German standard. What say Institute norms. Okay? So now, if you get into a design department, based on the requirements, they will suggest you. Sometimes they will suggest you to follow the standards. Okay, so if you look out mainly for the design of American company products, so they will suggest you to look for their national standards. That's what ASTM, so ASAE. So you get a lot of standards here. So ANSI, so you get a lot of standards. So they will suggest to try to use these standards for our design for design of our product. Similarly, if you look into Germany as well as Japanese, they will suggest. So for design of our component, we follow our constituency standards. So these are the some standards which are available so worldwide. Okay, worldwide. So now coming to the standardization, there is a basic thing. So to make a standard, it is a basic thing to make a standard. Okay, so someone get a message. Okay, Japanese industrial standards. Let it be. So you need to cross check it. Okay? Right. So now standardization required. So because if you not gone for standardization, so it is difficult to get the broken out part. So example, if you consider a screw, a bolt, okay? If you consider a screw, bolt, nut, okay, and some rivets, okay, some standard size of shaft, okay? Because they are needed. Now, one simple example, as I quoted earlier, that is what I am. If the particular company who have developed or who have designed the motorcycle, if they're not going to confirm the standards, okay, if they design in their own way, that is what the manufacturing of a tire. So if it's a bust out in a local area, example, you are suppose if you are staying in some rural area, like or if you're staying in a taluk area, suppose if it is only available in or if the company has not produced the component in accordance with the standard, so replacement of the component are very difficult. So for that reason, so you need to follow the standardization. Is it right? I hope everyone received a data and book in WhatsApp group. Hope everyone received data and book.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So now we'll go for problems. We'll go for problems. Okay. So just note down a machine member of dia a machine member of dia 60 mm 60 mm is subjected to a transverse load subjected to a transverse load of 3 kilonewton and a twisting moment of 1.2 kilonewton meter 1.2 kilonewton meter along with the axial load of 18 kilonewton. As shown in figure, 18 kilonewton. As shown in figure. So now determine the maximum principal. Determine maximum principal stresses and shear stresses. So it is of machine member subjected to three load shears, which has a diameter of 60 mm. So length of this machine element is 400 mm. Now it is subjected to transverse load of 3 kilonewton and axial load of 18 kilonewton and a twisting moment of 1.2 kilonewton meter. 1.2 kilonewton, right? You are going to get on this element. Okay? So let us identify critical sections here. It is an A, it is B. Okay? We got two critical sections here, or two critical points, right? Now just analyze. Now because of axial load, what type of stress will occur? Because of axial load, what type of stress will occur?
Tensile.
Someone reply.
Tensile stress. Bending
Because
stress.
of axial load, you are going to get a tensile load or compressive load?
tensile loads.
Rule number 36.
Tensile.
Because of axial load, what type of stress will get?
Tensile stress, sir.
Rule number 36.
Sir, tensile load, sir. Hello?
What type of stress will get for this axial load?
Tensile.
So let us assume. So because of axial load, so it tries to elongate, right? So it causes tensile load or tensile stress. It's going to pull or it's try to elongate the component. Okay, so that's what you're going to get tensile stress. You're going to get tensile stress. Okay. So now what about the bending? Yes, here. Now it is a transverse load. Okay. You want to act at a free end. You want to act at the free end. So now what type of stress you will get because of the load at free end? Someone answer.
Bending stress, sir.
Okay, who is rule number 16? Rule number 16. If a cantilever is subjected to free load at the free end, what type of stress will occur at the fixed portion? So you just observe it. Now this because of load at the free end, so it try to deform in this way, right? So it try to deform down direction. So now this upper part is subjected to tensile stress. What? Bending stress is what? Tensile. Bending tensile stress. So now this bottom side, we're going to get bending stress in the nature compressive. It is of nature compressive. So now because of twisting movement, so it is subjected to shear stress. It's subjected to shear stress, right? Subjected to shear stress, right? So now you suggest how many stresses are come into picture for calculation of maximum principal stresses and maximum shear stress right? Okay, how many stresses will come in picture? Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible or not?
Sir, audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Audible,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everyone show me the calculator. Everyone show me the calculator quickly. Prasad Dung. Prasad Dung. Pramod Committee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, what is the total stress at point A? What is the total stress at point A? So otherwise, simply I need to write the answer on board. You need to copy. Everyone have the calculator?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes, sir.
The answer ಕೊಡ್ರು.
sir.
The tensile.
So unmute and say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now we calculate what is the direct tensile stress. We'll go for a solution. Okay, first we'll calculate the direct tensile stress. Sigma D, what D by A. V is 18 kilonewton. Okay, so area is 5 by 4, 60 square. So how much you got? So how much you got direct stress?
6.3 newtons.
Rule number 46, 6.36 megapascal, right. Now this is what direct stress is 6.36 megapascal. Right. So now you are going to get the bending stresses here. So next, bending stresses due to transverse load. Transverse load. Okay. So you're going to get tensile bending stress as well as compressive bending stress. Okay. So let us go for tensile bending stress here. So considering tensile bending stress, the relation is M by Z. The relation is M by Z. So now you need to find out the bending moment here. So bending moment is P into L. Z is 5 by 32 into D. Into D. So now transverse load is 3 kilonewton. Overhang distance is 400 mm. Overhang distance is 400 mm. Now diameter is 60. So now you calculate. So cube not a square. $56.58 megapascal, right? So now let us find out the resultant tensile stress. The resultant tensile stress at a critical point, A. At a critical point A. So let us take this as a sigma x. Sigma x equal to sigma d plus sigma d t. Sigma d is 6.36 megapascal plus bending stress to the transverse flow 56.58 megapascal. Now this is how much? 62.94 megapascal. .94 megapascal. Okay. So now let us find out what is the shear stress because of twisting moment. What is the shear stress because of twisting moment? Shear stress due to twisting movement. Let us go for tau x by tau or T divided by Z. T divided by Z. So now twisting moment is 1.2 kilonewton meter. Okay. Twisting moment is how much? 1.2 kilonewton meter. So let us convert that kilonewton meter to Newton mm. Now it is Newton mm. Okay? So 1.2 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton mm. So now let us substitute. P is 1.2 into 10 to the power of 6 divided by 5 by 16. 5 by 16. The power of e to the power of 3. Polar section modulus ZP. Polar section modulus ZP is not 5. ZP equal to 5 by 16. D. Now substitute and calculate what is shear stress. So 28.29 megapascal. Right. So now what do you know? Two stresses here. One stress is the sigma x, another stress is tau xy. Okay? So let us substitute these values in calculation of the maximum principal stress and minor principal stress as well as the maximum shear stress. Okay. So let us calculate maximum principal stress. Maximum principal stress. Sigma 1 equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus 1 by 2 square root of sigma x minus sigma y square plus 4 tau xy square. Right? So now this equation, sigma x is 62.94. Okay. And sigma y is 0 here. Now tau xy 28.29 megapascal. So let us substitute sigma 1 equal to 62.94 plus 0 divided by 2 plus 1 by 2 square root of plus 4 into 28.29 the power of calculate sigma 1. $63.39. Okay. Now simply calculate sigma 2 minus principal stress or minimum principal stress. Sigma 2 equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 square root of sigma x minus sigma y square plus 4 tau xy square. Sigma 2 equal to so 62.94 plus 0 divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 square root of 0.94 minus 0 square plus 4 into 28.29 square. Calculate minus 0.45, right? Minus 0.45 megapascal. So next we calculate maximum shear strength. Maximum shear strength. Right? One. So tau max equal to 1 by 2 square root of x minus sigma y whole square plus 2 tau max plus 1 by 2. If I keep 62.92 minus 0.8 plus 2 28.9. So much? 41.29 megapascal, right? Let's note down. Determine normal and shear stress. Shear stress. Individual section AA, when a load of 12 kilonewton 12 kilonewton is applied at the center of crank ring. At the center of crank ring as shown in figure. As shown in Now, similar example is took place for analysis of stress. Okay, for analysis of stress. So you follow the procedure what you noted for analysis of stress. So based on those steps, you find out what is the maximum principal stress at the section A and maximum shear stress at the section A. So wait for 2 minutes. We'll take attendance. What is here? What is here? The P says 1. Quickly note down.